This is the men's room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Rachel Consola standing by. Caller 9-844-999. Ola will play Profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, Starbucks is now offering cold foam, which is kind of like steamed milk but thicker. And no one's more excited than Harry Potter fans because there's a hack you can do to now make butterbeer.
Butterbeer?
Butterbeer, that's a big thing in Harry Potter.
Oh, what is butterbeer?
I have no idea. I'm not working on it.
Don't tell me that.
But you don't know that.
The movie.
Any bitter batter make a butterbeer?
You're probably a Harry Potter fan. You know exactly
You know what a
this is
butterbeer
about.
is.
What is it?
I am aware of butterbeer. I don't know what's in butterbeer. My guess is there's butter and there's beer, and they probably put them together to make a butterbeer. But sometimes the butter's bitter. Moving on.
Well, some beers, like root beers, aren't actually beers.
And it's not made with roots.
Right, so my guess is this was just made out of butter. It's like a butterbeer. It's like probably butterscotch.
I just I don't mind butter. I just don't want to drink it.
I don't know. I'd drink it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dip lobster in it.
I mean, look, man.
Because that means I'm eating lobster.
Yeah, I mean, basically liquid butter if you got seafood.
If I'm in red lobster.
Even your popcorn at the movie theater, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't even know if that's butter. I don't know what it is, and I don't care. It's delicious.
You know what they need to do? Well,
everything, it's not real butter. I'm like, I don't care.
A company in Italy has created a new standing seat design so airlines could jam even more passengers in.
Well,
Great.
the first thing they need to know is that's not a seat.
No.
It supports some of your weight, but you'd basically be standing the entire flight.
right. 5 hours standing up in an airplane. Thank you.
Crutches support
Golly.
your weight. It's not.
I mean, why don't they just have an option where you could just ship yourself in a crate? I mean, my God, if it's going to come down to that,
Be too bad. Just stack us in there like cordwood.
yeah, whatever.
And away we go.
And then they're going to charge you more because they're going to say that all of this additional weight, of course, is jacked up fuel costs. Of
course.
Because we fit 40 more of you on a plane.
The worst part is that you'll still get on the flight and they'll go, "Thank you for flying with us. I'm CEO of whatever company."
no.
Like, God, you better stop thanking me. I'm only
Who's
on
the guy?
here. It's the only choice.
Is it you? Is that the guy that always wants to show his face? I'm like, why are you
They
showing
all
me
do
your
it.
face? Stop. We're glad you've chosen us, sucker.
A woman in Australia recently fought to get about $200,000 from her father's estate after he left her nothing in his will. Then she blew it all in just 9 months, mostly on drugs and alcohol.
Gee, I wonder why he didn't put you in a will. You stupid.
And on meth. That's a cheap drug.
Was it meth?
I never
Yes.
said meth.
Well, sometimes I read stories too, Mike. But yeah, I'm like, how did you spend that much money on meth?
I would just think, like, if you blew that much on drugs, I assume at least it's high-end stuff that costs money, man.
Yeah.
Police in Georgia are looking for a man who was caught on video breaking into a GameStop. He tried to hide his identity by covering his face with a clear plastic wrapper.
And we know why it didn't work, because it was a clear plastic wrapper.
He got a package of bottled water. No, that's where he got the clear plastic wrap.
Yeah, it was the wrapping that they put around it, like a 12-pack. And he wore it on his head.
That's just...
I would have laughed if he had gone in there and then just kind of asphyxiated himself all the way in
He was
there.
a big dude. He had noticeable tattoos that were visible, so they could identify those. You could see his face through his hat. I mean, the guy was an idiot.
Did it just look like a pressed ham?
I mean, it just looked like his head inside a plastic-wrapped cardboard box.
Good call, Mike. Looking like a pressed ham.
Right. A new study found mice in New York carry at least 6 new viruses that have never been seen before.
They've never been seen before.
And antibiotic-resistant
man.
bacteria that could kill you.
All right. So it's the rats again.
Rats.
Damn. That's terrifying. I mean, usually they say, wow, they carry, botulism. You go, yeah, but we've heard of these.
I thought Ghost was singing about politicians.
No.
Apparently not.
I don't get how more viruses can be created. That just doesn't make sense to me. Did they just kind of morph?
Yeah, man. I mean, some people struggle with the idea of evolution, but it's like, do you understand why it becomes,
bugs.
resistant to things?
The average age when you start becoming an old person is...
40.
37.
Thrill.
72.
Miles, you're the closest without going over 41.
All right. What do I win?
Nothing.
Free
Great.
prostate
You
exams.
win nothing.
The top signs that it's happening are you're starting to forget people's names, which I already do that,
Always have.
losing your hair,
Done and done.
Oh, come on.
and feeling stiff. How's your back there, Ted?
Yeah, that's why I said 37.
Feeling stiff.
What'd you do? Well, I moved some water bottles.
Well, now they're like, what'd you do? I'm like, I woke up.
Right?
Why does my arm hurt? Because I'm awake. There is no good goddamn reason why it hurts, but I'm awake, and therefore it hurts.
And
That's
who are
all.
you? According to a new study, the higher your salary, the more stressed you are. 68% of people who are making over $200,000 a year have high stress versus less than half of the people who are making under $100,000.
But that's
Probably
the
the
problem
boss.
with statistics.
You're the
though.
boss of something, probably.
Right, but it's like you might have more stress at work, but I suspect you have less stress outside of
You're
work.
not the boss at home. I tell you that right now.
Well, you're paying your bills and you're not at work, but yeah, the more you get paid at work, in theory,
Means more
you should have more
responsibility.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Unless you're a CEO, in which case you do absolutely nothing.
I like this one. Not smiling doesn't make people think you're cooler, according to a new study. It actually makes them think you're less cool.
And
You're
what
rigid.
they think is most important.
That's
No
right.
one wants to hang out with a putz.
No, but I don't know, in pictures, I think some people look cool when they're not smiling.
When they're hard,
Yeah. Sometimes you got to take that photo.
you gotta be hard.
But there's a different, like, if you're not smiling, but you got a different expression, you go, okay, I see what you're doing there. But if you're just not smiling,
I think
like you're not doing anything to replace it, it's like, you're just kind of weird.
I think
looking
if you're
at
outside of a Chuck E. Cheese, you got the sign in the background, a big rat, you should look hard.
yeah.
That's when you should be like this.
You
Stop
keep talking
giving
about
Kanye money, Ted. A kid in
talking
Greensboro,
about
North
Chuck E.
Carolina,
Cheese.
talked.
I keep getting the ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got chicken wings.
So how are they picking it up? How are they doing that?
My name is Ted Smith. I love Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese. Now
See what happens on
check
your computer.
Facebook.
A kid
Chuck
in
E.
Greensboro,
Cheese.
North Carolina, talked to the local news after a tornado ripped through his neighborhood. And even though he saw his neighbor's roofs being ripped off, he still tried to finish his game of Fortnite.
Can
He's
you
been
blame
doing
him?
pretty well.
I mean, what are you going to do?
He's either going to die or not. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't stop a tornado.
Exactly.
I had a hell of a game going, so.
I mean, if you were having sex, would you be like, you know what, man? Like, let's just go this way.
I may die in real life. I will not die in this game.
Sure.
A man in Florida was busted for drunk driving in his underwear last week, and he was ironically wearing... Oh, what? Never mind.
No. We're working on
I'm
that.
already working on that one.
Yeah, we are working.
Oh, you're already
You're
working.
I'm already working on that one. Why did I get this headline twice?
I don't know, because you weren't working on it.
Now, you're talking about the kid, by the way, who he watches the tornado rip his neighbor's roof off. Do you have the story about the guy on the flight, the Southwest flight? Right, the engine explodes, shrapnel goes and kills a woman. Another woman's almost sucked out of the window.
Yeah, I covered that yesterday.
They think they're going to die. The plane comes in for landing. All right, smart ass. Well, what we discovered today, so there's video of it. And Miles, you made the joke yesterday, like, hey, I'm going to die. I'll take video. Do you know, not only did the guy take video, but in order to take video, this is no joke, he's on a plane that at this point they believe is going to crash. So, I mean, this is the mode they're in. People are freaking out for obvious reasons. He took the time to order the Wi-Fi through Southwest. So I'm reading this morning.
That's like $8.
It's not like
Last
he
thing he did.
just pulled out his
You know what he was
cell
thinking?
phone.
He was thinking ultimately he wouldn't have to pay for it.
But no, here's the thing. Apparently,
he would get a comp if they
he
crashed.
was the lucky one. They said the people, so I want you to remember that he was the lucky guy who actually got through. They said at the moment the flight started going down, I guess an S-ton of passengers at once for $8 for trying to get the Wi-Fi so that they could record their last moment.
Maybe
talk
not just
to
that.
somebody.
Just say, like, look, honey, honey, I love you. The plane's going to
Kinda.
crash. You know what I mean? Like,
He
maybe I'll
kinda
be
did it.
there.
But you don't need the Wi-Fi to make a phone call.
Right?
Look, man,
that's
I'm
true.
just telling you what he did. And my man, he got
You
the
don't need the
$8.
Wi-Fi to take a video.
Okay.
Well, he Facebook Lived it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I mean, a plane crash got to be on World Star.
We should do that.
What's my credit card number?
Unbelievable.
In Cincinnati, police are on the lookout for a man that stole the unthinkable from a local conservatory.
What's that?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Cock. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now, but first, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile
Let's see
This.
to throw a hook into police, everyone, how Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Colin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
All right, Colin, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. There's not a ton to go on here, but here is your story. In this case, A man driving with 26 suspensions on his license hit an elderly woman's car, then drove off. Then he tried to flee on foot before, of course, being captured. The 30-year-old ran into a wooded area before being caught just before 7 p.m. Police say he was driving his 2010 Nissan Altima when he struck a 77-year-old woman's car, then drove about a quarter of a mile before taking off on foot because his Altima started to peter out. Anyway, he faces charges of aggravated unlicensed operation and leaving the scene of an accident. He was taken to a hospital to be treated for injuries from the accident. As soon as he was released, he was placed in custody. Do you believe this man? Sorry, dude, farting away here. If you believe, do you believe that this man with 26 suspensions on his license is black, white, Mexican, or Jew? This is brutal, man.
Hurry up.
Let's see.
Jesus, man.
I kind of. What are you guys thinking?
Where was this?
It's in Florida. He's 30 years old and has 20.
30?
He's 30. He has 26 suspensions.
I would just guess by his lack of care for the law, he might be white.
It's Florida, man.
Thinking, but I gotta. Yeah, Florida's making me think maybe Mexi.
Look,
They threw him in jail, right?
yeah, they had to take him to the hospital first after his accident. But when he got out, they're like, "Yeah, you need to come with us, man."
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Mexi.
Mexican final answer.
Final answer.
We're going to find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Jewish next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Profile this takes us to Florida and a guy who is not the best of drivers in his 30s and already has 26 suspensions.
That's correct.
On his driver's license, and he hit a woman again and drove off on a hit and run in his Nissan Altima. He was eventually busted.
But, Colin, we asked you, did you believe that this guy was black, white, Mexican, or Jew? And in the end, you went Mexi, if I believe.
Oh, sorry.
Black. Mm-hmm. The Nissan Altima. That's why I even brought it up. Mm-hmm. Even Ted during the breaks like, damn it, man, I didn't think about it.
I just didn't want to say
it
it because I didn't know if it was still true.
That's the only reason I brought it up.
I mean, it was true 15 years ago when we lived on the East Coast, but I didn't know if it's still true now.
Holds true, Miles. And the thing, because in that story, honestly, there weren't a lot of clues. It's not even much of a story, but the only thing I got in there was Nissan Altima. I'm like, all right, that's the bone you throw.
Okay. Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
I've heard this from other people, even though I don't often do it. But when you arrive at a sporting event early, you could watch teams warm up. So
I've heard the same thing.
Right? So if you go to a baseball game, you could watch them take batting practice. Now, I won't lie. When I was a child, I would do this. As an adult, unless somebody says, hey, man, we got to be there early for batting practice, I don't think I ever go. You guys ever go to BP?
No.
Yeah. So one good thing about BP, batting practice, if you've played baseball, you get the lingo, brah. Is that balls are leaving the stadium left and right, man. Like home run balls, the guys will just toss you some. Well, hockey's the same way. Like generally when a hockey team comes out, I know some hockey teams that don't believe in having pucks before they warm up, but they're donkeys. But most hockey teams, especially professionals, there's a ton of pucks out there, right? You're shooting on the goal, you're stretching out, you're warming up your goalie. So sometimes the pucks go over, fans get souvenirs, this and that. So there's a very cute little girl. She's sitting in the front of the glass. One of the Washington Capitals. They're warming up. I think this is before one of the games they classically choked in. He's going to give her a puck, but it doesn't go so hot.
Look at this adorable little girl banging on the glass. Brett Connolly saw her, just figured, I'm going to make this girl's night, right? Look, now here's the problem with being the shortest kid around. That kid grabbed the first puck from her. Now look at her face. Look at this. Is that the saddest? Look at her. She's devastated. So Connolly comes back, and now that kid steals the puck from her. What are we doing here? Are we raising gentlemen or what? So now Connolly's got to go back, get a third puck. If he could rip that pane of glass out and just hand it to her, he would, which would have been nice because, what are we doing? Connolly finally gets it to her.
Hey, that father orchestrated that because only the cute little girl was going to get it. He made sure all 3 of his kids got a puck.
But look at her, though. Is that all worth it right there?
So he goes over and he taps on the glass like, hey, I'm going to give you the puck. And he tosses the first one over, and the dad kind of, like, well, I don't know if it's the dad, but a grown-up grabs it and gives it to, like, a little boy. So he's like, So he goes over. By the way, you can watch this video at the Men's Room Facebook page. And I promise you, whatever has gone on in your day or life in the past week, this video will make you feel better about humanity.
Okay.
So he throws over the other one, and then the dude grabs it again and gives it to another little boy. So finally, he's not kidding. He is sitting there like banging, like, her. Like, the puck goes to her. Yep. And then finally she gets it.
Cool.
Right. If you see the video, she is very ecstatic, to say the least.
Well, and the father's like, here you go, son. And here you go, other son.
Well, I like the other guy. He's like, maybe the father planned that on purpose so that all 3 of the kids could get a puck.
No.
You at least start with your daughter, right?
One would think. I don't know. I mean, that's part of going to a sports game, too, right? Like, once in a while, you'll get a suit. Baseball games.
But they're giving it to you. It's different if, like, look, man, if the puck ricochets off like, whoever gets it, gets it. This is understood. If the foul ball's hitting baseball, whoever catches it, it's understood. But if the player is trying to hand it to a child, I'm not going to just snag it from him. Like, you snooze, you lose, bitch.
No, but that was going to be my point. Even if all 3 of those are his kids, like, sorry, maybe they just don't all get a puck.
Oh, I agree.
Like, the dude was just trying to be nice and give it to the cute little girl.
Like, look, this is what's going to happen. They're going to fight about it. One of them gets bashed in the forehead with the puck later. That's just how it's got to play out.
Yeah.
Look, man, if you get one kid one thing and the other one doesn't get something, they revert to Lord of the Flies in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, you just go back to savagery and just, you go with your reptilian brain at that point.
Yeah. Well, what sucks about having a brother 7 years older.
You can whip your ass.
He whipped my ass a lot. My brother was very nice and very kind to me, but yeah, when it came down to that kind of stuff,
you didn't stand a chance.
Give me that ball.
Got it.
All right, Chris.
Oh, right in the middle of the segment.
You don't even know if it's going to stink.
Yes, I do. You've never farted and it didn't.
No, it's true, but I mean, then statistically, I'm due for one that does not.
In your defense,
and it does stink.
Some farts do not stink. But
no,
today,
this is not one of those.
Today, all day, they have stunk.
Oh, this is not one of those.
Yeah, fettuccine.
Good news. You were right, Miles.
I know. I'm pretty good on this one.
Yeah.
What are you having for dinner? I'm not hungry.
I lost my appetite.
Yeah, I really did. How'd you lose all that weight? Oh, I don't know.
Stephen Colbert, he's as prolific at ratings as Thrill is at farting. Basically, he's stretched his lead out over Jimmy Fallon to more than 1 million viewers.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because there's not a ton of viewers. In spite of what one might think, there's not a ton of viewers on those late night shows. So to outdo someone by 1 million, that is a massive gain.
I got to be honest with you. I still just don't watch Colbert. But with that said, I never watched a ton of the Colbert Report either. Mm-hmm. So
that can't be flyover states doing that either. There's no way. Because they're not going to want to turn on and see that. They're going to lose their mind. So
no, that's all coached. I think
yeah,
Colbert for sure.
You'd have to
Colbert
think.
for sure. And I think Colbert's I will say this. I think he's a much better interviewer. I think Jimmy is funnier with kind of the games they play and stuff.
Yeah, he's the ringmaster of fun, but his interviews are terrible because, Jimmy, look, man, not everything, and I like Jimmy Fallon, but not everything that someone says is the funniest thing that they've ever said.
Correct. That's where I kind of fall sometimes.
Every single thing they say, like, man, that's not desk slap worthy. And I know it's his go-to move, and I get it, and you're trying to engage them and keep people excited, but, like, they didn't say anything. Why are you laughing, slapping your desk?
All my thing is just whatever they're peddling is just the greatest thing ever. That's the one thing that found like I saw the movie. It was unbelievable. The camera was just on a coffee can for 2 hours, and I got to tell you, it was mesmerizing. I've never seen a coffee can and just watched it for 2 hours.
I really wish that you get the interviewer that says, "Look,
this sucks."
Like anything, man. Look, they give me the preview. I get to watch it. In my office, all this kind of thing the day before he come up. I didn't watch it. What's it about?
Right.
I mean, like, you're here to talk about it.
But my kid was sick
about?
all night. I was supposed to go over the book, and I didn't have time. You tell me, buddy.
Well, back in the day, like, I think they should have some kind of code. Remember, like, Carson had codes, right? So if you were a comedian and you performed on the show, if he invited you over to the desk, it mean like he approved.
Sure.
So, like, I think they should just have, like, a little bit of code. Like if it was me, right? It's the Ted Smith show. Like, if I've seen the movie, but I don't bring it up in the interview, that lets people know I didn't care for the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm only going to bring it up.
Actually,
I will say,
decent.
the most unsettling moment I've had where, someone's asking to be honest. Look, long story short, it's John Cena, and this is right before he blows up really big. But he's on an upward trajectory, right? And he's a savvy guy, kind of follows The Rock's blueprints of how to do interviews and all this thing. So he comes in, but at this time, unfortunately for me, he's also trying to launch a rap career.
Correct.
And unfortunately for me, he brought like his demo. So, dude's standing there and people say, he's not very big. It's like, no. He's not very tall. He's a very, very big man. And he's very nice. So understand, he's very, very nice. But now you're getting into personal territory because he's all fired up to play his rap song. And in my mind, and I haven't heard it, but you just know, like, oh no, man, don't do this. So we play it, right? I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes.
You also got to add, it's a very weird day. Like, I was there and then left to go do something for the show. It's just you hosted it. So he was on for a while.
He's on for a while. And again, real nice guy, but he's like, hey, do you want to play my rap thing? Now, this isn't like Matt Damon doing a movie. The movie's already been made. Matt Damon doesn't ask for your approval. It's like, this is the movie I've made. You'll like it or not. John Cena, it's like, hey, no one's heard this. And now I'm mortified because you just know it's not going to be good. Like, I know it's not going to be good unless he just has these skills you can't see. So we play it, and it wasn't the worst thing I've heard, but it wasn't good, man. So, but he's over there bobbing his head, man, and he's legitimately proud of what he's done. And I'm like, please just don't ask me this one thing. Just don't ask me this one question. Sure enough, we kept playing the song, and he asked me the one question that you don't want to be asked. What'd you think? And I'm looking at him, and it's like a little kid who's excited to show you the piece of art they've done where they've drawn you. You know it's garbage. You know you should be offended. So he has that look on his face because he's real proud. And I really don't know what to say because I don't want to say, hey, man, So I said, if it were me and I were you, I would just stick with the wrestling thing is what I would say. Mm-hmm. And he was very gracious. He's like, okay, man. Yeah, I can. Because I don't want to say, like, no, dude, that was great, because I can't just lie to you about it. Well, I can't just tell you that this was great if it wasn't great, because it wasn't great. And the man's big enough to beat my ass to death. I don't know anything about him, but he was cool. But I felt so bad saying that, but I couldn't lie.
We could have said, like, well, John, that is rap.
We know Guy Fieri, and whenever you think of Guy Fieri, he's got to go in all these places and try all this food. And I think it was brobible.com, or somebody asked him, like, surely all this food isn't that great. And he was like, look, no. He's like, sometimes, I'll take a bite of something, and instead of going like, bam, whatever his thing is, like, this is just such and such and such. He doesn't really say much, like, it's a good sandwich. And then they stop, and the owner of the restaurant or the cook, whatever, goes like, well, do you like it? He's like, well, it's okay. So I think he compared it like to picking up a Rolling Stones album. Like, he's like, look, I might really like 2 songs on an album, and it's not that I don't like the album, but 2 songs are really good. The other stuff's just okay, but, like, I can't fake it every time. Like, I can't, like, if something's really good, then you'll know it from my reaction was what I got out of it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just straight up be like, this is crap.
Where Fallon just seems like everything.
Welcome to Crap Town.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is not flavorful
this
at all.
This is like a turd sandwich, man.
This is like the worst neighborhood in Flavor Town.
I'm not stealing this from my own restaurant menu.
Well, also, I will say, you don't often start a sentence with in Guy Fieri's defense, but also taste is very personal.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
You could go to awesome restaurants, right? Like, I don't really eat a ton of mushrooms. So you could have the greatest mushroom risotto of all time, right? I don't know if I pick risotto, but I don't like mushrooms. So
I'm sure people would like this.
If you got mushroom risotto, that explains why you don't like mushrooms.
Right.
It's just terrible.
Well, let's just say it's a portobello mushroom, right?
That's better. Steakier.
People always go, get a portobello, Ted. But I'm just saying, like, it might be done very well, but I couldn't sit there and be like, God damn, this is a good mushroom.
But see, I'll tell you some things, but I don't give the full lie. But do try a portobello. You may or may not like it, right? Other people go, man, it's like steak. No, it's not. It's nothing like steak.
Yeah.
It's steaky.
No, it's not.
So, John Cena was pimping his rap album. Another person, don't put your cheek down. Put it down.
No.
Put it down.
You got a couple minutes, you can hold it.
Yeah.
You can hold it.
Oh, apparently I can't.
Well, Alex Trebek, he doesn't just ask questions about rap songs. He goes to a bunch of different pop songs.
Learn. Hurting. Who is Rihanna? Didn't I sound like her?
So bad.
Nah to the ah to the no, no, no. My name is no. My sign is no. My number is no. Thatcher.
Who's Trainer?
Meghan Trainor, correct.
Lyrics 1200.
What are you doing to me? What are you doing, huh? What are you doing to me? What are you doing, huh? I'm so glad everybody loved my rendition, but I'm not sure Charlie Puth would have liked it. High tops in the summer. Don't be a bummer, babe. Don't be a bummer. Don't be a bummer. Eric.
Who's Lana Del Rey?
Right. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Eric.
Who's Pitbull?
No. Thatcher.
Who's Derulo?
No. Hannah.
Who is LMFAO?
Yes. Obviously, you recognize my rendition. You're in the lead.
In his defense, it's very hard to read lyrics that are sung.
And boy, are those lyrics terrible.
Well, if you heard the song, wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Mm-hmm. You mean they don't do it like Alice? Yeah. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Huh.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music I would like, every genre, for him to read out loud.
Absolutely.
Right?
Try to make it poetic, Alex.
When I get high on speed.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I just think, right, like...
When I get high, I get high on speed.
Like, that's why music has music on it, man. It's supposed to be that way. Roseanne's still dominating when it comes to the ratings. She's going to be first overall. But I will say this. Her lead has been completely, well, not completely, but very much diminished. Like the first week she came out or relaunched that show, I want to say she had like 22 or 23 million people watching. Now she's back to a normal number. It's still number one, but 13 million people. But also like almost 13 million people watch Big Bang every week.
Okay.
So she's still out there.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah. This won't shock people. James Comey, the interview special, they got almost 10 million viewers. Did you guys watch it?
No.
I did. I mean, but depending how open your eyes are, he didn't say anything you didn't already know.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
That's the whole
because
thing.
I was
like,
like,
all right. Yeah, I've heard all of this before.
And some interviews anymore, like, it's almost like you don't have to watch them because the highlights are going to be on some website you go to on a daily basis. Maybe not. I go to a lot of the same websites on a daily basis. I don't know if everybody.
Well, if you're on the West Coast, though, I mean, if it's an interview like that, something of substance, and it's on the East Coast first, by the time it comes on, you pretty much heard everything you needed. And in the end, like I said, all he said is stuff you've already read or heard.
Yeah.
I watch Fox News. They didn't bring it up too much.
NCIS, by the way, even a repeat of that still gets in the top 20.
Of course.
And then, I kind of forget this show's on, but the reboot of MacGyver sticks in there, still in the top 20.
Really? Thought people hated that show.
Well, it's been ruled one of the worst reboots
ever.
But I don't
even
know.
the worst is still the best today.
Yeah.
Right? Is there some guy just sitting at home like, I don't know, I can't change the channel. We're still watching this one.
Show's terrible. I just got to keep watching it.
Nicknames are cool. You got to, generally the rule of thumb is somebody should give it to you. James Corden didn't really play by that rule. Sudeikis and Ice Cube were on with him, and he tries to bring up a new nickname, and frankly, Ice Cube is just not having it.
I love this. I feel like I want to be wearing an all-black thing with a baseball cap.
Come on, man. You stay the host, man.
Yeah,
you on the couch damn near, man. What's up?
This is it.
Okay, all right.
We got Ice Cube, Jay Suds.
Yeah.
I want a cool nickname. What you got for me?
Man, I have nothing.
How about umbilical Corden?
Or just straight up umbilical.
TV viewer.
Umbilical.
That's dope.
Featuring
That's
umbilical.
Dope. And then at night you just say, time to cut the cord.
Time to cut the cord, baby.
Good night.
I'm out.
Yep. Tied in a knot.
I love it. I've been working on Coachella this last couple of weekends.
Topical.
Just for last weekend and this weekend, I'm just going to be Coachella. If you could put the word out, that would be great.
No, I'm not putting the word.
If you can put the word out.
No, I'm not.
He's not your messenger, James.
I'm just saying, if you get the opportunity.
I'm just saying.
No. Yeah, and I hear you.
And I hear you.
I hear that. I understand what you're saying. I get it completely.
Can you hear me?
And I'm saying if the opportunity arises for you to put it out there, I think you could be instrumental in Coachella really taking off.
So what you been working on, man?
Exactly.
I appreciate the answer. Yeah.
I mean, we've interviewed Ice Cube.
Yeah.
You didn't sound too happy there.
He was super nice, right? He sounds legit annoyed.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Well, so James Corden, if you've never watched his show, it doesn't come on until 12:35 at night. But he does. He takes his chair from behind the desk, and he's very close to the couch. So that's what Ice Cube is referencing. Like, no, you're the host. You're damn near on the couch with us.
Right.
Which, honestly, I think that's kind of cool the way he comes over and makes it a little more conversational, and everybody's out there at the same time.
Nah, man, what I would do if I'm a guest on his show, I will grab the couch and pull it up to his desk. No, you stay there, James. I got this.
Yeah. I just think it's cool how they kind of he kind of forces them to interact.
Sure.
And it's different, right? Because like Fallon might benefit for something like that. We were saying he doesn't do great interviews.
He
like,
needs, right.
Right. So Corden, again, I'm not positive he does the best interviews either. But when you're sitting there, it'd be like, if both
it's like a round table.
Right. Because it's like there's no number one guest.
That used to be the norm back in the day, man.
Yeah, all those shows.
Yeah, I mean, whoever the first guest was, they sat there until the end, but it always made the second guest more interesting because they'd go off and talk about whatever.
And then at the end of it, they'd all come together, and then they'd bring in another person. They'd all sit there, and then they'd pitch their stuff real quick, then they'd all join conversation again.
And it's interesting seeing genres and levels of celebrities kind of interact, right?
Sure.
So if you're an actor that's been around forever, and you're sitting on that, and you're still on the couch, the new guy, you're going to have some fun with it.
That's it. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. Headlines coming up with Mike here in a few minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Cincinnati authorities looking for a person who stole a butterfly from a zoo. It's California, where town is invaded by tumbleweeds, and basically there is nothing that the town can do. Italian company comes up with more uncomfortable way to fit more people on a plane. An airline loses a mom's prosthetic foot during flight, which is a bit of a pain. And $3,000 worth of weed ended up being just broccoli. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story in Cincinnati. Police are on the lookout for someone that stole the unthinkable from the local conservatory. Around closing time in the conservatory, someone made their way into the butterfly exhibit and stole a rare blue morpho African butterfly. Police are asking anyone with information to call.
How long does the butterfly live? Like in the butterfly form?
I don't know, man.
It can't be that long, right?
I wouldn't think so,
Yeah.
but you know what? I don't know a lot about butterflies.
I don't either. I know that first they're a worm and they turn into a beautiful butterfly, and then
caterpillar, dude.
It's a worm, whatever.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a worm.
I'm with Miles.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a worm.
Yeah, it's a worm. It might.
Yeah, I'll show you my
It
worm.
technically,
man. Worms
it
don't
technically
have
has little
legs.
tiny feet that it uses to walk around, but
You could turn my worm into a beautiful butterfly.
yeah, we're
No, you
moving
can't.
on.
Yeah, you could.
In other news, we go to Westland, Michigan, where a 5-car pileup can be attributed to one man that was acting a bit strange. The man came flying down the road in an old pickup and plowed into vehicles, causing one injury that needed medical attention. He then got out of his car and stripped off all of his clothes and began to dance in the street.
See, why do you have to do that part?
My guess, to be honest with you, he's perfectly sane, but this helps his insanity case.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that he screwed up Royal doing that, but now because he did that, he could say, "Oh, I'm just insane, Your Honor," and then they send him, away for a while.
Is that what you would do? Would that be your go-to move?
No, I wouldn't think near that fast. Yeah. He tried running away from police, but he was eventually apprehended and taken into custody.
Okay.
I would turn myself in. That's what I would do. I would just turn myself in. I would do the right thing.
Oh, not me. I'd be hauling ass. Yeah. I mean, look, if I can outrun them, good. If I don't, all right.
Catch me now.
Tried. Yeah.
We talked about this man earlier today. He was part of our question of the day. More fun in Florida. A man was pulled over for suspected drunk driving, and what the officer found inside in the car confirmed his suspicions. He was found driving with no pants and underwear that read, quote, breathalyzer, blow here, on the crotch.
And again, he's 54 years old.
Right.
I mean,
I wonder if they ever worked.
You know what I mean? I bet they did. I wouldn't wear it if they didn't.
After refusing a field test, he was arrested for DUI.
Breathalyzer, get it?
if those things worked, we would all wear them.
Right?
I mean, that's how you know they don't work.
Well, really, at that point, the only time anybody's going to see them is when it's at least a possibility.
Yeah, generally, you'd think so.
I'm the only person who reads Lucky You when I zip up my jeans.
Right.
Trust me. No one else is feeling lucky.
Those are great jeans, Miles. I love those.
I mean, but no one else is reading that but me. It should be upside down so I can read the tag.
They shouldn't even say lucky until you take them off.
Right.
Right. Maybe that's why he was driving with no pants on. It could just be right out there so he could...
Maybe it should be just like white in the back, like Lucky You, no streaks.
Test poor drunk people. Oh.
If you can read this, you wipe your ass with it.
Lucky You. Lucky You, you can buy white underwear.
Oh, no. In South Florida, a pair of drug dealers were duped trying to buy $3,000 worth of weed. While making the exchange, they paid their supplier the $3,000 and received what they thought was their marijuana. It turns out that it was actually broccoli.
Weed Week.
What's more, the man that sold him the faulty stuff then robbed the two at gunpoint.
Damn.
They just handed you $3,000 for something that should be free, vegetables, and you're going to take the rest of their money anyway? Damn, man.
I know people like smoking broccoli, but you can't really sell it that way.
He's going to go buy some real weed with that.
I'm so mad. So mad.
So you can tell the difference between broccoli and weed.
Golly, how dumb are you? You can smell it.
You can see it.
You should probably smoke a little before you buy $3,000 worth
About
of
to
it.
say they bought $3,000 worth, Miles.
If I watch the movies and you got a big like bag of Coke or something, someone like takes a big buck knife and they dip the tip in and go, "That's the good stuff," and they make some profound statement like, "You're going home with $3,000 worth of broccoli." You think someone would have opened the bag and checked it? You know,
right?
Not to mention broccoli and wheat; they're the same color.
Yeah.
They don't look a lot alike after.
No, they really don't.
More issues with the airlines. A woman is claiming that Southwest Airlines lost some pretty important luggage. Her mother's prosthetic foot.
Oh.
The woman was flying down to Belize to visit her mother and to give her the gift of the prosthetic foot, but it was lost in transit and wasn't found until she returned home to the States 2 weeks later.
She had to fly another leg.
I felt better about the story knowing that she was going to give her mother the prosthetic foot.
Why does that make you feel better?
Because
now
I
she
just
have a
wondered.
foot to give her.
I just thought. Well, it made me feel better because I didn't want some random woman going through the airport and saying, "What did I forget at security?"
My aunt works in Detroit,
My foot.
DC Metro, and they found a leg and lost and found.
That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
We'll see you next time for more of Weed Week. The return of Big Dummy, the head chef in the house. Old Tom Green stopping by, a world-famous comedian, and another round of No S. Sherlock.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.